Always something sidetracking me. But this is the old head gasket that came out the passenger. So look how beat that is. The driver's side looked pretty mint. This side looks terrible. So what we're gonna do? Let's move this convoluted tubing off of this out of the way to make our cut here straight as possible, and then clip it. So I see how it works, and then you can see the screen in there. It's supposed to have like a magnet thing, I guess, inside of it too. Okay, this side doesn't look like it's under spring tension. So let's look inside it. Oh, yeah, there's the magnet. That's a magnet, guys. Remember, this thing's directional, so flow's going this way. So it goes through the magnet first, and then, okay, that makes sense. That's why they don't want it going the other way. Do you guys see that? Because I can just shove that on, like, by hand. I'm going to go with the bigger ones. That's great advice, man. Thanks for that. Just have to pull it up over. There we go. There we go. Okay, this one's not under spring tension. It's the other one. So let's swap this out for the bigger one because that's a better fit. I'll tell you, let's put this keeper pin back in and clip. Here. That side's done. And then let's do this side. Fluid reservoir filled up and whatnot. Okay. They recommend to flush. So we're gonna have several bottles of the new power steering fluid to run through the system to get all the fluid out of like the gearbox, the steering gear box, so that we prevent any premature failure of the system. So I think this spring can just come out, and that's the insides of it, and then it's directional with that magnet ring on the other side. So not too complicated. It's kind of cool that you can get inside the guts of it. It's not just a sealed throwaway unit. I think it even said on the package like the a lifetime warranty or something like that. Okay. There. We'll just push it until it bottoms out. We'll get it nice and snug. Don't go too crazy and break your hose clamp. Nice and snug, and then a couple more, like another turn. Just use your own discretion so you don't break anything. So flow towards the pump. This comes off of fluid reservoir. Let's say this is up in the spot where it's supposed to be, which is up high, and the gravity comes down. It probably gets helped by the pump as well, but gravity kind of thing. So here's our inline filter. Okay, going towards the pump, and then this is hooked up to the reservoir like that. I just have to clean this reservoir out a little better. That's why it's not getting hooked up right this second. So here's our hose clamp. That's pretty good view, huh? Better. So let's get this on here now. What's this doing here? Okay. And be careful not to bash this stuff on things. If you crack this magnet, it's not going to have the same strength it's supposed to. So don't be... Last little bit. There. Now we'll grab the screwdriver and I'll do that through here too. We'll raise it up a little bit. I think it's too close to the filter, kind of. That's all butted up to the barb as well right here. There. So right here, I got some like caps. We're going to cap these off to prevent environmental contamination. If you've been watching, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned. There'll be more to come with these cylinder heads going to the machine shop. Probably some more stuff in between that time. So, all right, guys, till next time.